Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take these crash protectors off. They're 5mm, I believe is what's on here. I can get the spark plug out without taking these off, but like I said, I want to do a valve, check the valves on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this off and just have it out of the way. And you can see when this bike went down, this crash bar did protect the valve cover some. There's a little bit of scars on it. There's a bolt underneath. Yeah. Probably need an extension. So let me find my long extension here and get that off. Again, this bike is not going to be a show bike, so I'm not really concerned about the scratches on this valve cover. I don't know if this had some kind of grommet on it or if someone dropped something that fell down here on this. Maybe they just put it underneath here to keep it from vibrating and making noise. So I have to remember the two longer bolts. One went underneath and one went in the back. The shorter one went in the front. Just put these bolts back in here. Set it off to the side. And we'll remove this cover. I'll have to see if I have one of the spark plug pullers. I can probably get it with my fingers, but yep, there we go. I know BMW has a little puller that comes in most of the tool kits. Get that out. Clean some of the dirt out of here. A lot of dirt. A little rock must have been from where it went down. Alright, so let me see if I can find my spark plug wrench, and I'm going to try to see if I can get something in here, clean this out a little bit so I'm not pushing dirt down in the cylinder. Okay, pulled the plug out, and I don't know if you can see if this camera will focus in on it. But the electrode and everything looks good on this plug. They do look pretty old though. So I'm going to see if the parts store has these plugs. If not, I'm just going to use them for now, but I will probably replace them. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take this valve cover off. Sorry for the hissing noise in the back. My compressor has a small leak in it. These are 6mm Allen. So we're going to break those loose, and we're also going to take off the alternator fan or alternator belt cover so we can get to the bolt to roll the motor over. And I'm going to take the spark plug out of the other side and pop that valve cover off as well. I'll probably just record this side since it's the same thing on both sides. hose. Put the catch pan over here. I don't know if any oil will come out. And if I'll catch it. Alright. Looks very clean in here, so that's good. Take this little, has this little rubber seal in here that goes on the valve cover. Don't want it to forget about it and try to jam everything in and mess that seal up. The valve cover gasket looks in really good shape. Actually, yeah, looks in really good shape. We'll leave it where it's at. So I'm going to go ahead and take the alternator belt cover off, and then we'll get to start doing the valve adjustment. Alright, I got the cover off, and looking at this belt looks practically new. So one good thing, one less thing we'll have to replace. I checked over it for cracks. I didn't see any cracks. But to get to the belt, you have to take the bracket off that goes right there, that goes to the flaring on the side, to get that cover off. It's a 5mm Allen, I believe it was, and it has two spacers on the back to hold the bracket on. So I had to get that out of the way. But like I said, this belt looks really good. So we're going to head on from there to do the valve adjustment. Alright, doing the valve clearance check on the right side of the motor here. So I've got the two 30mm feeler gauges in here on the exhaust side. Top one is pretty tight, bottom one's very loose. The intake side, both are 15mm, and they are very loose. That one just fell out because it's so loose. So I just did the left side, and this can drive you nuts trying to get these things straight and get them right. So I'm going to try to play with them a little bit here. I found an Allen key. I think it's 3mm for these adjusters, 10mm to break the nut loose. So I'm going to try to mess with this a little bit. I'll try to record it if I can, if I'm not in the way. So this one's pretty tight. This valve here, clearance is tight. This one's loose, so we're going to loosen these up. And the problem is, when you adjust one, it affects the other one. So it takes some playing back and forth to get them right. And so I'm going to try this a little different on this side. I'm going to try to do just the exhaust side first, and then we'll try the intake side. I don't know if there's a trick to it, but you want to get it where it will have a little bit of tension there, but will hold this up like that, but will still move back and forth freely. And it's very slight adjustments you can do, and it will fall down like that. So it takes a lot of touch and finesse. and maybe a few cold beverages. Alright, I'm going to try to loosen this top one and we'll see what it does to the bottom one. Alright, so now we got the top where it'll fall down. And we're just going to tighten it just a little bit here to see if it will hold it. And that feels pretty good right there. And see, just tightening that one up, tighten the bottom one up some. So now that feels pretty good. I'll leave those there. We're going to try the intake side. And when I adjust these, it's probably going to affect the other two. See? Just barely breaking this bolt loose. Wow, that's tight. So we'll see if we can get these. And it seems like with the intake side, since it's only 15 millimeters, it does not take much to change your adjustment. And that one fell out. So I'm going to sit here and play with this a little bit. I'll come back when I got it. Okay, I think I finally, well, I thought I finally had it. And then this one just fell down after they're tight. So I think that one is going to have to get played with a little bit more. This is very tedious. Like I said, once you move one, they all want to move. You think you have it and you move your wrench and then it falls. There we go. I think we got it pretty close. So I think that's going to be it. Everything's pretty close. This one's a little loose. I might play with it just a little bit more, but that's how you do the valves. Adjust them. Like I said, you get at the top dead center for whichever cylinder you're working on, and go from there. So, in looking through here, I can see my piston in there. There's a little bit of carbon buildup on the piston, not real bad. So, you know, for 80-something thousand miles, I think we're good. But I'm going to play with this one a little bit, but you get the idea of how to set the valve clearance. Actually, I think it's pretty good. So we're going to go with that.